Good morning. It's Monday morning and I'm aspiring to create a series for the well and for anyone who needs a little bit of movement as the days get shorter, it gets colder here in the Midwest. So we're going to do a Monday movement series, and the next two videos that you're going to see is a sequence that I learned from a wonderful educator in LA who specialized in SI joint dysfunction. So some of you already know about the SI joint. You might have SI joint issues, or you might just have like low back pain, hip pain, some other things that you can't quite figure out. So whether it's technically SI joint or anything related, this exercise is a great reset for understanding pelvic stabilization using the deep core muscles. And a little bit of a primer about the SI joint. Essentially, if the spine is here, and this is basically the part of the pelvis that butts up next to the spine, that the little space in between is that SI joint. And so the SI joint is tricky because like when we're walking, one side needs to stabilize, one side needs to mobilize. So it has to, and these are, I'm making big movements, but they're tiny little essential movements so that we can both stand erect and comfortably and have a little bit of mobility for gait and other purposes. And so oftentimes when, at least for me, when I start to feel like, almost like if I take a step, like suddenly my whole body feels like it's not even able to accurately perceive itself for proper movement. It just feels like everything's not quite in the right place. So here we go. Layla, we were talking about this, and I don't know when I'm gonna see you, so this is for you. And if you have any questions, come on over to the well or shoot me a message and I'll try to help you out. My goal is to be able to empower you to have a lot of agency over your entire well-being with your body. Okay, see you, bye. Hi there, I'm Stacy. I'm sharing a really great exercise for stabilizing the pelvis, SI joint dysfunction. Basically, when your hips, low back start to get a little wonky, this is a surefire way to get everything all fixed up. So first of all, it's going to be we're going to lay on the floor, but the first part of it is to start to understand how much you're activating the back of the leg, especially with knee flexion. So you're going to lay on your stomach. All right. Okay, can you see me? Great. And I'm gonna go all the way down to the ground, and I'm just gonna turn my head this way so I can see the video, but if you were doing it, you would just plant your head on your hands. And then you just do some kicks of the legs, just noticing, first of all, are you feeling that your quads need stretched out like I am? But you're also noticing that perhaps that when you go to bend the knee, there's not a lot of activation in the back of the leg, the hamstring. And also that as I do these little kicks, my pelvis and my hip bone is rocking back and forth. So then what we're gonna try to do is see if you can only move your leg one at a time because you're activating the back of the leg, the hamstring. So you'll notice that it slows down the movement. You might have to flex the foot. And you might notice that you have places and spaces where it kind of drops out. So my left leg was much more activated consistently. My right leg harder to activate, and it kind of drops out here at this moment of knee flexion. And with my hands and awareness, I can kind of get everything to catch fire a little bit more. Then you take a relax. Then we're gonna work on discerning between our glutes and our sitting bones. So first you just squeeze your butt as hard as you can. Do a few of those, and what you'll notice is that as you squeeze your glutes, your pubic bone is going to press super hard into the floor, and your hips are going to reach up off the ground a little. So there's movement through the pelvis. See if you can find your sits bones. You might have to do a little palpitation to get them activated. And see if you can just squeeze the sitting bones to start pulling them together. You might notice that when you do that, your pelvis moves less, and you have to also activate the pelvic floor and the deep abdominals on the front side. So when you activate through the sitting bone, you'll feel your abdominals lift. And you can notice which side fires first. Does one side not want to fire on doing these little side-to-side firings? And now we're ready for the next step. All right, I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to come back for step 2. All right. We activated our back body, so let's get ready for the exercise itself. So you're gonna lie down on the floor. I think you can see me. So your feet are gonna be hip width apart, and you wanna, the distance for the foot away from the butt is basically if I lift my knee up, there's a 90-degree angle here, okay? So, not super close, not far away. You're gonna press your tailbone down. You're going to pull the abdominals up and in, corset through the ribs. So there's a lot of work in the core already. If you put your heels of your hands on your hip bones, fingertips on the pubic bone, look down, it should create a plane parallel to the floor, if that makes sense. You're feeling for the bones and thinking of that as a plane. You're gonna press your feet into the ground, activating the back of the legs, sitting bones, pelvic floor, deep abdominals, ribs closed. Keeping all of that musculature engaged simultaneously. Palms on the ground, shoulders open, and you're gonna start just hinging up. So you're not coming up like a high bridge. You're trying to get, sometimes you might get a little cramp in the back of the leg like I just did, since I haven't done these in a while. You're trying to make sure that your knees do not fall open and that your ribs, your hips, and your knees are in alignment. You might feel as though your knees are reaching away from you while your belly pulls in. So you're trying to feel that just by activating these basically different energetic angles that you might start to feel stretching across the hip flexors. And then you slowly come back down. You're not articulating down, you're hinging down till your tailbone hits the floor again. And you're rising up, back of the legs, sitting bones, pelvic floor, deep abdominals, shoulders wide, ribs gathered, and back down again. What you'll feel when you're activating all of that properly is it becomes a really intense exercise that is allowing all of that deep musculature, all of your deep powerhouse muscles to activate versus being overridden by the larger movers of the body. Hope that helps. This is for you, Layla.